All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel and happy Friday to everyone out there. It is March 24th. We got a bunch of games on the NBA slate. We're going to jump into each and every one. I'll give you my lean on the spread and I'll give you my lean on the total, but my final plays, what I'm actually going to be rolling with, those will be in the pinned comment, and I update that throughout the day, so make sure to check out that pinned comment for the final plays. Last night we go 1-1. We hit the Cavs Nets over, but the teaser, these damn teasers, the teaser does not come through for us, so we go 1-1. Last two nights, not great. We're on a 2-4 run over the last two nights. I'll be transparent about it. We deserve a womp womp for that. We got to get back in the green here. We go and sweep 3 nights ago, and then our last 2 nights, it's like, but hey, it's what it is. That's gambling, right? Ups and downs. Luckily for us and you guys, if you're tailing, you're up a little bit more than you're down, and that's what's great about it. But yeah, let's get back in the green tonight, guys. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button as well. I think we almost hit 400 likes in yesterday's video. Let's see if we can just run up the likes in today's video. Act like it's your worst enemy and just ba-boom. Hit it. All right, hit that like button, guys. Comment your favorite plays today, all that good stuff, and go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you're new. We just hit 20,000 subscribers, and yeah, it's still kind of surreal to me. Like, I can't believe it, seeing the 20K next to the Guy Boston Sports logo. We're not stopping here by no means. Like, is this the end or anything like that? But it definitely is a milestone. I want to keep growing and grinding and doing these for you guys, because that's really what I love, the community we're building, right? So I don't want to stop, but I think it's important to stop and smell the roses sometimes. And right now the roses smell pretty damn good, and it's all thanks to you guys. So when I say thank you, I truly do mean it. So go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let's jump into our first game here. We have Washington taking on San Antonio. Washington 7.5 point favorites, total at 228 in this one. Some major injuries to note. San Antonio, a bunch of guys are questionable / probable. It's like actually 12 guys, so go check out that San Antonio injury report. Not that it really matters, because the big injuries here are going to be Bradley Beal and Kuzma out. That being said, I cannot see the San Antonio team keeping up with the Washington. I mean, it's Porzingis and Cast, I get that, but the San Antonio team definitely should be getting a little bit more than 7.5 points, even with those two guys out. So I'm gonna lean towards Washington plus the 7.5, or minus the 7.5 points. In terms of the total, 228, I think it's gonna be a sloppy game. I don't exactly envision who's clearly going to be the scorer on that San Antonio side of things. With injuries, there's a couple probable and a couple questionable guys. If they play, then I see it. But I'm gonna lean towards the under in this one, under 228. Second game on the slate, we have Boston, my Boston Celtics, taking on the Pacers here. Boston, 11.5 point favorites at home, total at 234.5. Last time they played, the game went to overtime. Boston won 142 to 138. Yep, I got that right. Boston kind of on a slide here, 5-5 against spread in their last 10 games. 11.5 points is a little bit too much to lay. Now, you guys know I don't bet against, or if you don't know, I'm a Boston fan. I'm biased. I'll tell you guys when I'm being biased. I don't bet against the Celtics, but I do not like the spot of laying 11.5 points in this instance. What I do like is the over in this one. Over's hitting 12 of Boston's last 18 games, and then 6 of Indiana's last 9 games. And 4 of the last times these two teams have played, it's hit the over. So I do like the over, even though it is a very high number at 234.5. That's probably my favorite lean on this game. Make sure to keep an eye on the pinned comment to see if that does ultimately become a final play. But yeah, nothing much that I like on the spread here, but I do like the over. Moving on, Toronto taking on Detroit. Toronto 13-point favorites at home. This Detroit team, you know, I think it's clear what they're doing, or at least from the perspective of they're not trying their hardest to win basketball games. The total's at 223.5. I do like the over. I think that's a pretty low number. I think there's going to be a lack of defense in this game. Last time they played, it was 95 to 91. I cannot see that replicating, so I'm going to lean Toronto laying the points. I don't love that either, guys. This is a crappy game. Obviously, anything you have Detroit, I would say Houston maybe, but definitely Detroit and San Antonio. Yeah, those are like kind of chalk games for me, but I do like Toronto in this one, or I do like the over in this one, and I lean towards Toronto. Houston taking on Memphis here. Houston getting 13 points on the road. They played just a few nights back. Houston kept it close, but Memphis ultimately did win 130 to 125. But Houston, they were 12-point dogs in that game. They did cover. I'm going to go ahead and take those points with Houston again in terms of a lean. I don't love this game. I'm sorry to tell you guys that like 3 times, right? But it is what it is right now. 3 of the first 4 games that we're diving into today are pretty crappy games. We got some better spots later on in the slate, but I'm gonna lean towards Houston just because it is a big number. And then in terms of the total, I'm gonna lean towards the under there as well. All right, now I feel like this is where the slate might start, right? We got Dallas taking on Charlotte here. Dallas 13.5 point favorites at home, total at 227. The Charlotte team coming off of a loss against New Orleans. Was it last night? They're on a back-to-back, but before that, they did catch a win against Indiana. They were underdogs in that game. Dallas, though, struggling right here. They're good against the spread. I'll give them that credit, but they've lost 2 straight. They did cover both of those games. You have 2 teams that are kind of in turmoil here, and I use that term loosely, but I am going to look at Charlotte. I think it's a lot of points to give. I think this Dallas team is a little bit of a facade. Like I said, they are struggling too. They're covering games, so their against the spread numbers are going to look great, but that's when they're underdogs. They're 13.5-point favorites here. It's going to come down to some injury report stuff as well. I want to make that clear. Terry Rozier is questionable. Kelly Oubre is questionable. Dennis Smith Jr. is questionable here, and so is Cody Martin. A lot of guys that score the ball for them, or at least are involved in the game, are questionable. They are on a back-to-back as well, so I do think that this line probably is showing that maybe a couple of those guys aren't playing, but if they are, I'll go. They're questionable right now. I am going to lean towards Charlotte plus the points. And then in terms of a total here, we have, I feel like it's a pretty spot-on number. I'm going to lean towards the under ever so slightly, but I do think this sticks around in the mid 220s, so that's only a couple points of margin. I don't know if that ultimately becomes a final play. Next up, we got Milwaukee taking on the Jazz. Milwaukee 9-point favorites on the road here. Total sitting at 236.5. A couple major injuries to note. Utah, no Larry Markkinen and no Jordan Clarkson tonight, and then no Chris Middleton for Milwaukee. Regardless of the injuries, this might be a psycho play. In fact, we'll sound the psycho alert alarm. I do think that Utah can keep this game close. They've been playing decent basketball, 6-1 against spread in their last 7 games here. Milwaukee, obviously a really good team, but in their last 7 against Utah, they're 2-5 against spread. So it seems like Utah can match up well against them, has their number a little bit. So I'm going to lean towards Utah here, plus the points at home. And then in terms of a total 236, I really don't hate the under in this game either. Even if Milwaukee starts to pull away with it, I think this ends up being an under game. So I do like the under here. Guys, before we get into the last 4 games, I do want to talk to you a little bit about what's going on over on Thrive Fantasy. If you don't know what Thrive Fantasy is, it's pretty much picture, the DraftKings contests mixed with Prize Picks, guys. You can enter contests and then say more or less for players' projections. Then if you get those projections correct, you get points, and then you rank against your peers, guys. And they have been so kind to me over the last few months, and they've opened up an exclusive Guy Boston Sports MLB opening day free roll. It's a completely free contest to enter, and they pay 130th place $2. So, at the very worst, if we get 130 people in there, you're all getting paid, guys. Make sure to check it out. Check out the link, Thrive Fantasy, guys. It is in the description here, and I just all over the place, guys. Make sure to check that out. Enter this contest. You'll see it. It looks just like this right here, right? Enter that. The password is going to be Boston. Password is Boston. Completely free to enter. I'm gonna be in it as well. They're paying first place $50, and if you're from Boston, guys, it's even better. I mean, even if you're not from Boston, you can still win it, but the winner is going to get 2 Red Sox tickets to a game. So $50 and 2 Red Sox tickets, guys. It is a no-brainer. Go check it out. Definitely worth signing up if you are a Prize Picks player. Thrive Fantasy has a bunch of features that I actually even like more than Prize Picks, so make sure to check it out. They do offer a deposit match up to $250. They upped it for this. So if you do want to go over there and play the pick'ems and play the games like that, guys, check out Thrive Fantasy. They've been awesome to me. Definitely an awesome partner to have in this media journey that we're going on. So make sure to check out this contest. There's only 14 people in there right now. If you're the 15th person and there's only 15 people when it closes opening day, right? You're making an automatic money, making automatic money for a free contest. No brainer, guys. Check it out. Link is going to be in the bio. Just filter to MLB and then featured, and you will see the contest. All right, let's get back to it. We got the Warriors taking on the 76ers. Warriors 6-point favorites at home. Total at 235 in this one. These two teams played in December. Philly won 118-106. They're 8.5-point favorites there. They did win it. Philly 9-1 against spread in their last 10. They're 7-3 against the spread. 5-1 in their last 6 against the spread. Golden State in their last 5, 1-4 against the spread. So you look at the injury report. Joel Embiid is questionable. James Harden's questionable. Golden State, no major injuries to note there. If everyone is a go, I'm leaning Philly getting those points on the road. But for whatever reason, I'm thinking the books might know something that we don't, seeing as, they are 6-point dogs here. So maybe James Harden and Embiid both aren't playing, or maybe one of them isn't playing. Keep an eye on that injury report, but I do lean pretty strongly towards Philly if those guys are ruled in. And then in terms of a total 235, I think this one's going to have a decent pace to it, so I'm going to lean towards the over. Again, just like the Boston game, I'm not much of a high number over player, but I do think that there's some potential for this one to get up into the 240s. All right, Chicago taking on Portland. Portland at home, 2.5-point dogs at home. Total sitting at 226.5. 5.5. These two teams played back in early February. Chicago won 129 to 121 in their last 10 here, 5-5 against spread. But what I will say, on the road, they're 3-1 in their last 4 against spread. And Portland over there, 0-3 against spread in their last 3 home games. Chicago may be figuring something out. There are a couple injuries. DeMar DeRozan is questionable here, and Damian Lillard is also questionable, so keep an eye on those. No Anthony Simons for Portland either. I'm going to lean towards Chicago minus the 2.5 points. I do think that they can win this game. Probably, I would say maybe by like 5 to 10 points. If Portland gets hot, done. Obviously, we've seen that Damian Lillard can get hot and kind of compete with anyone, but I do think that Chicago kind of is maybe finding a little something. They're turning a little corner, so I'm going to lean Chicago. And in terms of the total, I know it's a lowish number, but I am going to lean towards the under. These Portland games have been killing me when we lean towards unders. I'll be completely honest, but I still like the under in this one. All right, Phoenix taking on Sacramento here. Phoenix, 5-point dogs on the road. Total at 240 right now. These two teams played in mid-March, and Sacramento won 128 to 119 in their last 10 games. They're 6-4 against the spread. Phoenix is 4-6 against the spread. They're 0-6 in the last 6 games against spread. By default, your boy is leaning towards Sacramento, the covering Kings. No Kevin Durant, no DeAndre Ayton for Phoenix, and we've seen them kind of get beat pretty decently by a few teams here. They've lost 5 of their last 6 games to game. The only win that they have in there is against Orlando. But Sacramento, another injury to note is here. Kevin Huerter is questionable in this one, but I'm leaning the Kings. I've seen 4.5 on some books, so we might be able to even get a better number here. So Kings is my lean, and then in terms of a total 240, we're looking at the under in this one. We've cashed a couple Kings unders this season. I feel like I have a good sense of their pace of play, especially when the numbers get into the 240. So I'm going to lean towards the under. I don't know if that becomes a final play. I'd much rather the Kings laying the points in this one if I had to pick a lean, but those are my 2 leans for the game. And then last game on the slate, we have the Lakers taking on the Thunder. Lakers 5.5-point favorites at home. Total at 233 right now. These two teams played on March 1st. The Lakers as 3-point dogs won the game by 6 points, 123 to 117. No major injuries on the OKC side of things. Anthony Davis listed as probable. The guy's on the injury report every single day with a foot injury because he has a foot fetish. LeBron is out with foot. I don't know what those two guys are doing with their toes, but they're interlocking with each other for sure. And for that reason, we're leaning OKC, the rumbling covering Thunder, plus the 5.5 points. And then in terms of the total, I like the under in this one as well. The Lakers offense has not really shown that they can score 130 points, get up there, anything like that. And OKC, as good as they are and as fast-paced as they've played, they've scored 110 or less in 3 of their last 4 games. So the offense isn't really clicking for them either. So I lean towards the under and OKC. And this one is that. And that's all I have for you guys today. Super early video. Hopefully I wasn't like rambling and mumbling or anything like that. But yeah, we do have a weekend ahead of us. Hopefully everyone has a good time and a great Friday, guys. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. All right? Peace out.